Composing music is a never-ending learning process, and with each finished composition you learn something new. But what if you want to get some extra inspiration, or if you want to accelerate your learning process? Then reading books on music composition is a good way to go. Here are the best books on music composition that you can use for your own music writing. Music Theory and Composition, a Practical Approach. I find this book to be the most complete one when it comes to music theory and writing music. There are so many things that this book does right. At the beginning of each chapter you have the learning objectives or the learning goals clearly laid out. And at the end you have a summary and a terminology list, followed by exercises that you can do, which are engaging and they're clear and easy to follow. The integrated workbook is very handy for beginners who want to do all the exercises. I guarantee that this book will keep you inspired and busy for quite some time. Composing with Constraints. I love this little composition book. As a professional composer or as a student, you need to practice your composition skills every day, or at least as often as you can, even if it's just for a minute or two. With these practical and challenging exercises, you can practice your craft in a very focused manner. But you can also use it to explore new techniques or to get some new inspiration. The exercises are fun, they're engaging, and they're challenging. Composing Music, a New Approach. This is one of the first music composition books that I've bought. Composing Music by William Rousseau, and until this day it's still one of my favorite books. It's to the point and this book has many interesting exercises. I think that this book is suitable for beginners who are just starting out, but also I think more intermediate and seasoned composers can look through this book and find some new inspiration. I go back to it every once in a while just to refresh my memory, but also to see if I can take something and use it in a new composition. Musical Composition, Craft and Art. Alan Belkin is respected and well known in the online music theory, composition, orchestration and arranging community. He is an excellent teacher and he creates information-rich YouTube videos that you can find in his channel, which is linked in the description. I have been a loyal follower of his online content for many years now. So anybody who is familiar with his content will know that buying this book is a no-brainer, that the quality will be top-notch. Overall, this is a great comprehensive book that deals with the traditional subjects taught when studying music composition, and it is done in a very clear way. It will be a very helpful supplement to any music theory or composition course. Harmony is an indispensable music theory topic that you as a composer need to master. That's why I've lined up some of the books that I think are the most important. Harmony and Voice Leading. The mother of all harmony books, if you ask me. I've used this book extensively during my faculty years. All the examples are laid out clearly and in a very logical manner. This book will take you from beginner to advanced in a very natural and fun way. Just keep in mind that this book is more about the common practice period and mostly classical music students will get the most out of it. However, I do like to use these techniques and apply them to my own music, even when it is not classical oriented. And I know that this book is not cheap, it's actually quite expensive, but it will last you a lifetime. Modern Harmony. This is a relatively unknown book, but it is an amazing resource. It was recommended to me by one of my professors. Not only does this book cover advanced harmony topics, you can also learn a thing or two about composition techniques. Just keep in mind that this book was written in the early 1900s, so the term modern harmony might not be as modern as you would think. But nevertheless, I find it to be very inspirational. Contemporary Counterpoint. Often the information that you find in Counterpoint books are difficult to digest and read. However, contemporary counterpoint theory and application is quite different. This book is a relatively easy read and the examples are clear and concise. Although I don't find it to be as contemporary as the title suggests, but nevertheless it's an interesting and inspiring read, and I think you'll definitely learn a lot from it. And plus, it's not too expensive, so it's not really a risky purchase. Guide to the Practical Study of Harmony. I know this book is outdated and it's also not the thickest book out there, but I just love this book. It was written by the master himself, Mr. Tchaikovsky, and you need to take this book with a grain of salt because it's very focused on the time in which it was written. But nevertheless, there are plenty of interesting things that you can take out of this book and that you can use, for example, during your music theory classes, or even if you're writing a classical music piece in a certain style. There's plenty to learn, plenty to take out, and it's not that expensive, so why not? The Rest is Noise. I was overwhelmed when I started reading this book, The Rest is Noise. I mean, there's just so much to read and to listen to. I guarantee that you will not read this book only once, but maybe even 2 or 3 times. And if you want to listen to all the music that is suggested in this book, then you're going to have a playlist that will last you a lifetime. It is a very complete overview of the modern Western music history. And I cannot recommend this book enough. I really love this book. Writings on Music. Steve Reich needs no further introduction, I assume. I read his book Writings on Music during my first year of studying at the music faculty, and it was a revelation. It was such an interesting read and such an educational read. He talks about how he composes music and he gives away so many of his composing secrets. Really, I've not seen this in any other book before. He is so generous. Even if you're not into minimal music or if you don't like the music of Steve Reich, this book will be of incredible value. It's very interesting and I cannot recommend it enough, like a lot of the other books on this list. The Classical Music Book. This is not an academic book, but that doesn't mean that it is no good. It's probably one of the most fun Western music history books that you'll get your hands on. It will take you all the way from the old times until our current time. It is surprisingly complete, colorful and neatly organized. If you want to treat yourself on a fun and educational book, then I think you should get your hands on this one. Analysis of Tonal Music. The title already suggests what this book is about. This is about a Schenkerian approach to analyzing tonal music. If you want to learn more about a Schenkerian approach to analyzing tonal music, then this book will definitely not disappoint. However, I did find it to be a bit complex, or it's a difficult read. I purchased it while having private classes with one of my former professors, and I found that every time I read a chapter, or actually every time that I read this book, I was left with a lot of inspiration, not only about analyzing tonal music, but also between the lines there are many composition techniques that you can take out and apply to your own music. This concludes my best books on music composition for composers list for this year and for the upcoming year. If you think that I've missed a book, or if you would like to recommend a book, let me know in the comments. And if you're looking for more inspiration and want to become more creative, then sign up for the waiting list of my Today, Tomorrow, Everyday Creative program. Stay inspired, stay creative, and for now, see you next time.